Hello. Merry Christmas. We're here the day after Christmas. We're all here. December 26, 2020. What a blessing. What a blessing, people. We have went through so much this year, mentally and in many ways physically. We've lost 336,000 lives. There are close to 200,000 people in the hospital now suffering from the coronavirus. Social injustice was the cap on it, and hiding it just was exposed. This whole Donald Trump administration, just him being elected, guys, being elected, doing everything that he did during the time he was there, and for it to end the way that it ended. I mean, God just been all in this. God didn't cause any of this, but man, as they were doing their thing, God was like, you know what? Here I am, people. I promise you, on election night, I was sitting there with my oldest daughter, and we're watching, and they still had those last 4 states, to numbers coming in with them. And just in my mind, I was like, it would be so nice for Biden to get all 4 of those. I literally was like, in my mind, I said that. I've always been someone that is just so excited when triumph happens, God's triumph, when God shows up and shows out, and that was my whole thing behind that. It was like, oh my gosh, if God could just do it. And trust me, this has nothing to do with that Biden is this spiritual savior or anything, or the Democrats is the most best thing on earth. I totally have issues politically with the Democrat Party and the Republican Party. I've never been either. I've always been an independent because I look at what is right, not, based on the party, But I'm just saying that because of all of the evilness that went on during that administration, and the only other option that we had was the Democrats, and for it to prevail the way that it did, to put him down, to show them, because literally people were signing on that this dude was for God, that he was for God's mission, and that was scary. That was so scary. I was like, oh my gosh, but at the same time, like, God, like even back when he was when he was running, I had people sending me things about, him being elected because of, something to the effect of work for God or whatever. And I knew that whatever he was going to be doing, that if it was going to work for God, it was going to be because God turned around for us, not because he was going to work for God. Because this guy just wasn't there on the God level. Get me? But even though when he was elected, I was like, okay, well, maybe, just give him a chance. Maybe he's going to, because the actual job, he's now the president of for all of us. He's the president of the United States. He's not just president for some people. At least that's what I thought. Oh my gosh. It was so disappointing to see this man get in there and do what he did. And to see people that I knew and, felt good about as a person, literally signing on for it. But many of them, even though as a person, I, respected them, I knew that was there, and, but it's just amazing. God has really, truly took us through things to wake us up. He didn't cause the things. We did. But he stepped back and allowed the process to go forward so that we will learn. And I'm so praying that what we learned was not just that you need to put on your mask. There are so many things to be learned out of this whole year in terms of us just being basic humans, to have just having a heart for others, for ourselves, just basically understanding what our God is. The whole thing with the pandemic, it's like, okay, can you give up this? Can you give up that? Did you think about that? Like, is that so much important to you? Is that your God? Like, can you give that up? And can you give it up for a short period of time? That right there in itself should have showed us how prevalent something was to us in our lives. Like, is that thing your God? Like, are you chasing money? Or do you have to have people around you, or you can't, you're choking out because you can't have other people around you? Does that say something about you in terms of whether you are happy with yourself? Are you running from yourself? Are you running from looking in the mirror? It's just the holidays, okay? Christmas came. And, every year we do the Santa Claus thing. And, I buy presents, I buy gifts, but I decided a long, long time ago that this whole Santa thing, that I wasn't going to do that with my kids. I had an experience as a kid. I remember, and I'll talk about that later. But I basically would buy my kids gifts, wrap them up, and put them under the tree. My kids saw their gifts under the tree. And I do the same thing with my grandkids. I tell my children that, that Christmas is about the birth of Christ. But we buy gifts because it's the season for giving, because God gave his son to us. This is how I explain this to my kids. I mean, literally, the world had told us to go and work and spend our hard-earned money on gifts to give to our children, telling them a fantasy story, putting this man-made figure up as like a god to our kids. And the whole thing, I thought about, it was like years ago, I thought also, what about this? A lot of kids out there, they can't afford things. And they're really good kids. They've been good all year, and they ask Santa for something, and Santa can't give it to them because mama and daddy can't buy it. Is that right to have that child to walk around as a child thinking that Santa didn't care enough for them, that this great Santa that's loving everybody else, that's giving other kids things, didn't care about them, and it all just goes back to, us looking at what is the season for. Easter, we do the Easter egg hunt, I'm not even going to say anything about this, but I would totally like you guys to look up what that whole thing is about, the Easter eggs, okay? That is very, very interesting, I'm telling you. But, and trust me, I am not trying to take out people's fun. I get it with the making things fun and everything, but we don't supposed to lose what the purpose is for, especially when it's something that we're supposed to be. We've given these days to honor the Lord. How far have we fallen from that in those days? How far have we fallen from honoring the Lord in just our basic lives? We've had people throughout this year that have overlooked people being abused and killed, murdered, people being reckless and causing death, all for money. All for money. That's what it's behind money. It's like, no, I can't do that because money. And it's so crazy because, like, literally, think about this. Think about this. People that have businesses, so they, some of them, I don't want people to wear masks because they're going to scare people and keep people from wanting to come to my business, right? So you let the people in without the mask, they infect your employees. So now you're short on employees. They infect other people, so people don't feel safe coming there. But then you're complaining because you got to shut your business down and you blaming it on the government. It's you. It's your fault. You literally did not think about humans. Your mind is just on the money, okay? But had you thought about humans, God got this. When you do the right thing, God got you. You know that thing when you say, well, God might not be there when I want him to, but he always gonna be there on time. That is so true. That has happened so many times throughout my life. I'm serious. Like, I'm 51 and I promise you, that has happened. So I don't even worry. When things happen, I just be like, well, God got something better for me. I tend to worry more about other people than myself. I don't really worry about me, things involving other people, I'm concerned about. Don't get me wrong, this whole health thing with this COVID, of course, I'm concerned, not because I'm concerned to die, but I'm like, Lord, God got a lot more for me to do here. I can't be leaving this earth like this. I'm not going to leave this earth because grown people are pouting up because they want to go play, or they teaching these kids the wrong things, and I'm going to pay for it with my life. Like, no. I will definitely stand up for righteousness. I will help people. If my death caused a massive number of people to be saved and things like that, that's different. But to just die because people just don't want to live right, I can't do that. So, on that take of it, I wasn't worried, but I'm like concerned in a way that I'm like, I'm going to protect myself and I'm not going to let others come around me and bring death to me, unnecessary death, So, but I wanted to do just this little short video just to say, hey, we are still here. December 26, 2020. We're going to make it through January 2021. And we're going to be different people. I'm going to post up a video where we're going to dig deep before the new year comes in. We're going to dig deep into our hearts and figure out this whole thing together. What it is that we were supposed to learn here. Listen, be safe, be prayerful, but be vigilant. Look, Wear your mask. See here? I gotta go pick up some paper and some pens from Office Depot, and I'm running here by the bank to do some business at this ATM first. Got a little cash for Christmas, and I'm gonna put it in this ATM because I need to buy me a new microwave, and the one I want is on Amazon, so gonna have to order it. So have a blessed day, and I'll see you guys later. Stay safe. Bye.